Okay, testing. Okay, now we're good. Oh shit, we're live. Okay, we've been live for 33 seconds. We'll see if anyone's here first before we start doing anything. Hello. All right. Take your time. I have no idea. I can't. I can never tell. And no one's replying back, so I don't know. It says zero watching. Ah, somebody's here. What's going on, Lethal? Give me a hot second. Just trying to get everybody uh situated with. And hopefully my girl closed the goddamn door. It's cold. All right. If you are here, bear with me for like literally a minute and a half. Um, I'm just trying to get everything situated with. We'll start around say 4 o'clock. Oh, not 4 o'clock. That's stupid. Where it says eclipse time 4. So we'll start around 4. If you're here, just hang with me. We'll start regardless of who's here or not. I wonder how I post this link, or can I post this link anywhere? Lethal Gaming. Are you into Diablo 3? Well, I'll type it because I don't know. I'm on some kind of delay. Give me a second. We'll start it up in about 45 seconds. I really wish I could post this link somehow, some way. Oh, sorry. Never mind. I wonder if I. No, that's not going to help me at all. All right. We're going to start up in a hot second. All right. Let's dance. Hello, and welcome to the Church of Fuck You. I'm St. Patrick. Um, Tonight, actually, we were debating like crazy what to do or say or whatever. So, we decided on the right to be wrong. Now, we actually just watched Straight Outta Compton. If you haven't had the pleasure of watching it, it's actually a really really good movie. Um, but I guess the conversation between me and the Mrs. Pain in the Ass, um, was that do rap lyrics go too far? Do some lyrics go too far? Do some lyrics, you know, like I guess push the boundaries of like what is acceptable? Like if a guy is rapping about raping a woman or killing a kid or something like that, does it go too far? And I guess in my honesty, my initial response was obviously, I think some can go too far, but who the fuck are we to tell people what they can and cannot say? Exactly, movie, yeah, that shit was really incredible. Um, I guess like what people can and can't say, what people can and can't do, and obviously if you're not hurting anyone, I mean that's what a lot of people have used and said for like different things to support their beliefs, as far as like gay rights, and obviously anyone knows or listen to me, um, anyone's ever listened to me, they know that um, I'm actually in favor of gay rights because I feel like, hey, if two people want to get married, then you do what you need to do. They should have the right to do it. No one should tell them any other way, any other stance. Nobody should be able to come in and tell people what they can and can't do or can and can't believe. To me, that's just wrong. So I start. So when it comes to like different lyrics, different things, like different movies, different, I guess, different. I don't say entertainment for a lack of a better word. I think it should apply to everyone. It should apply to that particular case as well. Do I agree with everything that's being said? No. Honestly, rap today is complete fucking bullshit if you compare it back to the 80s and 90s when I was growing up. But whatever, that's a whole nother conversation. I mean, rap is just fucking garbage now. Um, but I think we get into a little, I guess, a little area of what is right, what is wrong, what we allow, what we don't allow, what people can and can't say, all of the above. And I think which is really interesting, if you actually look at it just from an outside standpoint, just take yourself out of the situation, look at it from an outside standpoint. Would you feel comfortable with somebody dictating what you can and can't do? And honestly, that's what just the the ball of the conversation starts there. Like, would you feel comfortable with somebody saying that you should be allowed to listen to this, or you should not be allowed to listen to this? You should be allowed to write this. You should not be allowed to write this. And I think we get into a very very sticky area because, and I would try to touch on it a little bit, but not go to really deep into it. I think the problem that we get into is that no one should be able to live their life or have to live their life, and no one should be able to dictate somebody's life based on their morale of their morality. Like whatever they believe is right or wrong should have no effect on the next person. Now, obviously, as a society, we have certain things that we feel or deem that is wrong, like killing someone because that directly affects someone else. Child molestation directly affecting someone else. But like literally, if you look at a lot of our crimes, it's because you're directly affecting someone else, which again we all deem is wrong. I don't want to get killed, so if someone was to kill me, then I would be wronged. And as a society, we feel, hey, we need to change that. We need to punish the person who did the crime. But when it comes to like other shit, like different, like what music you listen to, what you can and can't say on a fucking Facebook blog, or well, whatever you do, that's when the area gets really fucking murky because we may not agree with a lot of shit that goes on. We may not agree with a lot of shit that's being said or whatever, but in my personal opinion, we have no right to dictate what someone else can say. If someone wants to get online and talk about how the white race is the greatest race ever, and all niggers should die and all this other shit, I obviously don't agree with that. But as I guess as the word freedom comes into play, he has the right to say it. Now, I don't agree with it. If someone wants to call him out on it or go punch him in the fucking face, that's a whole nother issue. Obviously, they're just there are consequences to everything you do, and people learn that shit the hard way. But no one should have the right to dictate what you can and can't say. And I think that's where we get into it, as far as really pinpointing everything. And even more so, like, no one should have the right to dictate what you can and can't say and, like, when you can say it. Now, one of the biggest cases ever that has come out, I guess recently, I would say ever, but recently is the whole Clippers. What is it? The Clippers owner, where he just went on a fucking tirade about how he hates black people and, oh, no, I'm sorry, not how he hates black people. Tell him, don't bring black people this, and he's deemed to be this super huge racist, and he's this racist. Oh my gosh, he's the worst person in the world. And again, what he said was fucked up. Don't get me wrong. What he said was really fucked up. Um, but I think the point that everyone missed is that he had the right to say it. You you may not agree with him, you may not like what he said, but he still had the right to say it. And everyone tried to pull, I guess, like, well, he can't be an owner in the ABA, and he shouldn't do this, and he shouldn't do that, and how can he be in charge, and he feels this way, and Hulk Hogan came out and said some stupid shit, and everyone just blackballed him for it. But what I find really interesting in the whole matter is that they said this shit in their house. Like, they were at home. Obviously, they didn't know they were being recorded, but they were at home and they said some shit. If somebody brought a tape recorder into your fucking house and recorded what you said and played that shit at your job, how many of us would actually be employed? I can promise you I wouldn't be. I put my hand up immediately. I'll be the first one. There's no fucking way I would be employed. And I'm pretty sure majority of the people in this world would not be employed if they came out and said something in their fucking house and that shit was recorded and they took that shit and they played it over the air or they, put it on fucking Sports Center or put it on the news. It's fucking it's horrible. It's like it's just a no-win situation. And what is it? Enable Diamond just said, he's tired of political correctness, and that has a lot to fucking do with it. We are in the business now of not offending anyone, like anyone. So you don't have the right to be wrong. Like your right to feel how you want to feel, you can feel that way as long as you don't express it to anyone, like ever. Because even if you express it in your own home, like you didn't hold a fucking press conference to be like, yeah, fuck all you people. You said this shit in your home, and now the words you say in your own house isn't even safe. Because shit you say, you think you're saying in private, you think you're saying in secret, now that shit could be public. Now that shit could be publicized. How many people literally would catch an ass whooping if something you said was recorded and played back to the person? I mean, seriously, how many fucking people would be in fights every day if everything you said was recorded and then played back to the people? We would be fucking chaos all the time. For the simple reason, everyone talks shit. Everyone says how they feel. Everyone has the right to say how they feel. We've now gotten to the point where you can't even say what you feel. Now, again, I'm not condoning them for being racist. If they want to be racist, fuck them. Like seriously, fuck them. They don't have to, they don't have to employ black people, which the guy was doing. They don't have to deal with black people, which obviously both of them were doing. But they can be racist all they want to. I don't have to deal with them, but they should have the right to be fucking racist. They should have the right to say fuck niggers or fuck Spanish people or fuck Asians. They have that right. And I think the huge scary thing of it is that we are now eliminating that right. Like you don't have the right to offend anyone. And I watch Bill Maher. Um, I try to watch him as much as I can, but sometimes I just miss his fucking show. But I watch Bill Maher, and he catches so much shit for his feelings toward Muslims. And he has, again, you don't have to agree with it. You can say what he's saying is wrong or how he feel is wrong, and that's your prerogative. But when the fuck did we lose the right to be able to, say how we feel on certain subjects? Now, it could be political correctness. It could just be the fact that we're just scared to fucking death to offend anyone because now we have to be so, it's all us. And I'm sorry. It shouldn't be that way. I am the first person to jump up and say we need to look at each other as humans. We need to look at each other as individual people instead of groups, and we need to just try to, look at it, live our lives to where we're helping a fellow human, not because of God told us to do it or we think there's going to be an afterlife and we're going to get all these rewards and all this other bullshit. We need to start helping and being human. But again, if you want to be an asshole, if you want to be a racist piece of shit who doesn't want help or deal with black people, that's your right. Move the fuck on. Like, we shouldn't force people to believe what we believe, to think what we think, to feel how we feel, because that's when you get in really fucking scary territory. You get into places where you can manipulate people so easily because you're telling them what they feel and think is wrong. They did that shit with the gay people for years. You're wrong, you're a sinner, you're going to burn in hell. You shouldn't think that. You shouldn't have those thoughts. You shouldn't feel that way. They try to do that shit with abortions and telling mothers and, young women, you're wrong. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. And blah, blah, blah. It's like we have, again, and I'm not going to say everyone, but we have come into a place where we feel like it's our obligation and it's our duty. Um, we feel like it's an obligation or it's our duty to tell people how to govern and live their life according to our morality, according to how we feel they should live their life. And no one has that fucking right. You have the right to be the biggest dick in the world if that's what you want to do. You also have the right to be alone for the rest of your life, but you have that right. You have that right to be the biggest asshole in the world, or you have the right to, go around and cuss out everybody you see. You have a right to hate gay people. You have the right to love gay people. You have the right to do whatever you want to do. The problem is we're now eliminating the right to be the asshole. We're now eliminating the right to be wrong, to just to be wrong on your own accord or your own beliefs. And again, that's the one thing that really scares me. And like I say, the prime example I was able to give is that yes, there are jackasses in the world. Yes, there are fucking jerks and dicks and however you want to call it. But they have the right to be that. They have the right to be whatever the fuck they want to be. Um, I'm sorry, I'm just skimming through all these people commenting and shit. Um, I guess what my question would be to everyone is that I don't know, is there a line that would be drawn? Like, is there a line where the right to be wrong is too far? Now, I know some people would say, I guess when it comes to children, when it comes to old people, when it comes to, I guess, like, raping women and shit like that, stuff that can actually touch and hit a nerve. Is it too far? Like one of the examples, I was talking about with my girl, she was saying that, lyrics about raping women, should that be justified? Should that be allowed? And my answer obviously was, it's fucked up. It's really bad. It's really wrong. But I can't tell the guy to not do it because if millions of people are following this person who raps only about raping women and they love him, then fuck it, get your paper. You know what I'm saying? Do what you need to do. We may not agree with it, just like I don't agree with, preachers who promise an afterlife to people and they gouge them for their money and they have private jets and they have houses and they're promising them shit that they will never fucking obtain, in my personal opinion and my belief. But who am I to tell this preacher to stop doing it if millions of people want to just donate 10 to 15 to $20 every fucking Sunday to his cause because they feel like they're going to heaven? Now, again, morality, that's fucked up. That is so wrong. And it's like it's like, you know what it is? It's selling life insurance to a person to say you're going to get, not your family, you personally are going to get $1 million when you die. And the person is fucking dead. Like, the person dies. He would never, you could put $1 million in his coffin. You could write him a check for $1 million that his ass can never cash because he's dead. But they sell it to him, and people line up and buy it by the hand. I mean, like, by the fucking truckloads. People are waiting for their kingdom in heaven. They're waiting to get up there and meet Jesus or meet Allah, and they're waiting to get up there and meet Muhammad or whoever they're planning on fucking meeting. They just can't wait to get up there to meet him, and they don't mind giving 10% of their paycheck to this guy who's promising these people the way or the path to get to that place. And to me, that is so fucked up. That is so wrong. But who am I to tell this preacher to stop doing it if these idiots are going to fucking listen to him? So I think that's where we get into I mean, it's extremely fucking gray area. Is that who are you to tell someone else that they shouldn't do something? Who are you to tell someone else that they shouldn't listen to something? Now, again, I'm not talking about crimes. If you obviously go out and molest a child, okay, fucking string them up, kill them. I'm down for that because you're causing hurt and pain to someone else. If you are, stealing billions of dollars from your company, then yes, fucking lock your ass up. You are causing hurt and pain to your employees who apparently are, maybe living check to check because you're stealing billions of dollars. So I get the crime part, but we're just talking about like just regular freedom of speech. And freedom of speech is just that. Now I understand, and this is where people get confused. Freedom of speech is that the government shouldn't infringe on your right to say something. Now we're not saying people. So like technically, where everyone was talking about the owner of the Clippers saying that he has freedom of speech. Yes, the government didn't jump in and say to fire this guy. The NBA collectively got together their owners and say, okay, this guy got to go. He's a bad representation to the brand. Which again, I completely understand. I just think it's fucked up that the guy can't say shit in his own house without it being broadcast and him losing his fucking company. It's fucked up. But I digress. where do we draw the line? Like, where is the line in the sand to say, as a fact, as a freedom of speech, we can't go past this line? And I guess the line will be drawn to where everybody just stops fucking paying attention. It's really funny. I was again watching that movie, and one of the things that Eazy-E kept saying was that any publicity is good publicity. And I've heard that before, where anytime you can get your name in the news is good for you if you're trying to build something, if you're trying to do anything. So even if you get it in a negative way, it's still a good thing. So if somebody did come out about raping women, and that was literally his whole entire fucking album, he would sell so many copies, not because people want to listen to it, because there may be a few people to listen to it, but he would sell so many copies because that shit will be over every fucking internet site, blog, newscast, Twitter. That shit will blow up so much that this guy will be an instant star. And he may rap like absolute shit. But because everyone will talk about this person and everyone will be jumping on this person for good or bad, he will blow up. He will be on every, you know, BET and whatever fucking news channel you can think of and doing interviews, and he's on Good Morning America defending his album and all this other stuff. He would be everywhere. If you really want shit to go away, don't fucking pay attention to it. Don't worry about it. Don't listen to it. Don't buy the shit. Don't waste your time on it. And I think that's where, as far as like a human society, maybe we need to evolve to, is that if it's stupid, just leave it alone. We have this undenying need. Um, we have this undenying need for some reason to pay attention to every idiot in the world. Like every idiot in the world. Anybody comes out and says something stupid, like literally the whole entire fucking country has to respond at one time. And this guy just blows up and he becomes an instant household name, and you know he's fucking rich beyond his dreams because everyone hates him, and everyone has to buy his album to show how much they hate him, and everyone has to speak his name and repost his name on Twitter, and it's just ridiculous. um Now, see, okay, I'm just reading the comment. What about specifically inciting violence? I mean, honestly, everything fucking incites violence, and I think this is where we get tricky, because I know like video games took a lot of heat for the violence, and movies take a lot of heat for violence. But honestly, violence is a part of human nature. I'm sorry, no offense. It just is. We're fucking animals, and we're the breed of animal that just likes to fucking kill. We do. And my biggest argument to this is like the Crusades didn't happen because like the Pope was playing God of War, or the Pope was playing Grand Theft Auto, and he just went on there like, oh fuck this shit, we gonna just go kill everybody. There have been countless wars. Like Napoleon was, going to war left and right, not because he was playing, a board game and decided, or he was playing a video game, or he watched a movie like Roots and shit, and he got all offended. It was like, fuck this shit, we're gonna kill everybody. Um, I just personally think that violence is just inherently inside of us. We just need a reason to bring this shit out, and religion is a good way. I just joined a child violence or whatever. Religion is a good way to bring out the violence, and I understand what I guess she's saying now. Um, Religion is okay. Sorry. Start over. Religion is a good way to bring out violence, whether it's word of mouth, whether it's through social media, whether it's a fucking YouTube video or a post about on Twitter or whatever. Um, Maybe they should govern that, but again, it's really fucking hard, and that's where the line gets very, very blurred, and that's where it gets extremely fucking tricky. Where do you stop it? Like, where do you stop it? Yes, we don't like, the crazy ass Muslims who go around and killing everyone. And if they want to post shit on Facebook, yes, there should be a government that jumps in and stops it. But where does it stop? Like, where does it end? I've been reading, I've read different stories about people who've been locked up for shit that they posted on Facebook. Because one guy was posting with another guy, they were playing a game, and you can read the story if you want. They were playing a game. Yes, it's back. I'm sorry. They were playing a game, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go crazy and go into a school and kill all these kids because he like died in the game." Or so. It really really stupid. But he posted it. Now, obviously, a smart person would think, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't post shit like that on social media." But whatever. This guy obviously wasn't the brightest, so he posted it. Then the FBI came, locked his ass up, put him in a psych ward because he was a threat. And it's like, then where do where do you like if somebody was to make a joke, like if me and a person at work talk all day making a joke all day, and we go home and I posted on something on Facebook like, "Oh, I'm about to go post it tomorrow. It's fucking on. I'm killing everybody. Ha ha ha." The government doesn't understand the joke. Like, they don't get the inside joke. They didn't hear they weren't privy to the previous conversation that we had in person at lunch about something stupid. So now the government just comes in, they read this post, they go and lock the person up. Some people may feel safe. I'm looking at this like, dude, that's fucked up. What the hell did I do? They're saying, okay, we're just being proactive now. We're getting into the minority report status because we're just going to prevent crime. We're just going to start locking people up before crime is ever committed. But again, where does it stop? Like, if we get into the point now where if you post something on say a tweet, or if you post something on Facebook that seems semi-violent, if we're now saying, okay, the government should be allowed to act upon that message, where does it stop? Because now you'll have people that, and again, I understand the cause for concern. I understand how people can say, well, it's a little bit fucked up. Maybe we should not, allow these people to post shit about Muslims and, joining jihad and doing all this shit. But then again, what you're saying is that the government should be allowed to act on any threat that they perceive as a threat. Now, the problem is sometimes, and obviously I know some of you may not be aware of this, sometimes the government is known to get shit wrong. And they may act upon something that should have been acted upon because it may have been a joke. It may have been somebody just lashing out in anger, saying, you know what, I had a really shitty day at work. Fuck this job. I hope it blows up. So now they take that, oh shit, he's going to blow up his job. We got to lock this guy up. And again, which I found funny because I've actually read this before, once you're deemed crazy, they can keep you locked up forever. And that's not even me making shit up. That's actually true. Once you're deemed crazy, they can keep you in jail forever. Because the way the system works is that if you're acting crazy, then you're too crazy to get out. If you're acting normal, then obviously you're psychotic because you really are crazy. You just learned how to act normal in order to get out. So there's no fucking way out. Like, there is no way to get out once you're in the fucking system as psychotic or crazy. There's no fucking way to get out. They can keep you in there for as long as they want. Now, this is some shit that people may not know, but this shit happens. And I'm not saying it happens a lot. I'm not saying it happens all the time. But if it happens just one time where someone gets locked up, which it has, someone got locked up for a fucking Facebook post, where does it stop? You should have the right to be a dumbass even on fucking Facebook. You should have the right to, and again, and I understand the whole threat thing, but how many people make threats every day, like every day, and it never comes to fruition? How many people threaten to do something on a regular basis, but no one, they never do anything? There are a number of people who be like, man, I'll punch you in the fucking face, or man, I'll blow this whole fucking building up. Because they're just mad. They're just talking shit. Some people threaten to quit their job on a regular basis, and I'll raise my hand on that one. I'm still fucking going back to work. We all make threats. No one is immune to it. Now, hopefully the majority of us are smart enough not to put that shit on Facebook and not to put that shit on, Instagram or whatever the fuck you use to post shit. Majority of them are smart enough, but unfortunately we live in a world where some people aren't that smart. And some people will post a threat. And then what happens? Now, obviously, after the fact, you can say, if something happens after the fact, you can say, well, the guy posted it on Facebook. Obviously, he was going to do something. Why did the government react? They saw the message. But again, if we respond to every dumbass that posted something saying that they were threatening to do something, how many people, oh dear God, how many people, if you think about it, on your Facebook page threaten to kill their husband or their wife because they did something stupid? Do you know how many, literally our country, and we cry about our prison population now, half our fucking country would be locked up if every time somebody posted something about, oh my gosh, I can't believe this bitch didn't come home last night, or I can't believe this bitch crashed a car, I swear to God, I'm gonna choke this bitch as soon as she walked through the door, locked up. Whether he was gonna do it or not is besides the point. He posted the threat. Locked up. And now he has to prove that he won't choke this bitch. How do you prove you won't do something when all they have is a message saying that you were? How do you prove it? Now, again, I don't understand. Well, sorry, let me revert this. I don't know how to take a threat serious because you never know what a serious threat is until after the fact. Like, there is no threshold to say what threat is serious and what isn't. What threat is deemed worthy of police intervention and what isn't. We have the right to be as wrong as we want to be, especially on social media. We have the right to be fucking dumbasses. We have the right to make empty, asinine threats as much as we want because it makes us feel bigger and better because we're on our keyboard and we can say we would fucking kill everybody in our school because they keep bullying me. Now, again, I'm not saying I agree with it. What I'm saying is you should have that right. Now, yes, if some crazy shit happens after the fact, everyone would jump and say, well, you should have did something. The police should have did something. We saw the Facebook post. We saw the tweet or whatever. But again, would everyone feel comfortable with the government now intervening in anything they deem a threat? Now, understand, it's not you. It's not what you, like, you could say something, they could take it in a threatening way, and you're fucking toast. I'll give you an example. My social studies teacher, I told her, and I was in like ninth grade, I told her I was going to jump off the Empire State Bridge. I remember this specifically. No, I said bridge. That's the funny thing about it. I told her I was going to jump off the Empire State Bridge. She called the people, the guidance counselor. I had to go see a therapist because I was a threat to kill myself. Never mind you, there is no fucking Empire State Bridge. And as a social studies teacher, you would think she would, as a teacher, period, you would think she would know that, but that's besides the point. I was deemed a threat because I made a joke. And because I made that joke, I was immediately deemed a threat to the school because they felt like I was going to kill myself and I could kill myself in school and then I could kill other kids. So immediately I am suspended from school. I have to go see a therapist. That's the government. It doesn't matter if it's logical or not. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. It's whatever they deem is a threat. Whatever they feel is a threat. And again, you have somebody. I said to this chick in person. You have somebody just reading shit. Just reading it. They don't know the context of your conversation. They don't know how you're saying it. They don't know how you're. The only thing they're doing is they're reading it. And as I've always said, the worst thing you can ever do is put something in writing because there is no context to writing. Only thing the person has to go off of is what they're reading, and that's it. And if they read something really fucked up, you can try to explain it away, but again, they're just going by what they read. And if you allow a government, again, I'm not saying that you should ignore, again, I don't know how to put it in that way. As far as like a sensible way, but hopefully I'm making sense to you. If you're putting the comprehension of your statement into someone else's hands who, one, doesn't know you, doesn't know the context of your conversation, and just pretty much has to analyze and just react to anything that they feel is a threat, how many fucking people would be locked up? Like, I posted something earlier today, which I thought I was trying to be funny, where I was like, I swear to beans, it's about to be The Shining up in this house. Red rum. And if anyone's not familiar with The Shining, that's where the guy is stuck in a hotel. He fucking goes crazy and try to kill everybody in his house. Oh, kill everybody in the hotel. If the government was watching that, if they could get their ass here, because it's like fucking 3 feet of snow outside, but if they could get their ass here, that would have been deemed a threat. I was going crazy for being locked in a house. That could have been a threat. I could have been locked up. And it's a fucking joke. And anyone who read it, obviously know I was joking. Anyone who knows me or knows any of how I am or act or talk or anything will immediately know it's a joke. But the person sitting on the other side of the computer, they don't know it's a joke. They see a person threatening to kill everyone in their fucking house. Done. Just done. So how like what point at what point do we say threats should be terminated immediately or cut off immediately because it's a threat, and all threats the government must react to. So again, it's so fucking tricky. It's so fucking tricky when it comes down to this, because now we're in a place again. You should have the right to be wrong, and the right to be wrong even extends to the fucking internet, even extends to being a fucking dick online. Which I'm sure if anyone's ever been online for more than 2 minutes, they've encountered some people who just like to get on there and just fuck with other people for no other reason, just to do it. So like, what do we do? And I'm asking this question just in a very serious way. Like, what do we do? Because now we're living in a society where people literally for years fought to have the right to speak out. Women fought for years to have the right to speak out. Black people fought for years to have the right to speak out. And like we literally fought to have the right to speak and to say and to feel what the fuck we want when we want to do it. Now, obviously, again, it comes with consequences. You have the right to go. I've always said this. You have the right to go into a gay bar and say "fuck all you faggots," but they have the right to turn around and beat the shit out of you. Just because you have the right to say something doesn't mean you should say it. Oh, it doesn't mean you should say it, because there are consequences to every fucking action. Always, always, there are consequences to every fucking action. But my point is, we fought for years to have these rights to say shit. We really, really did. So now we're getting to a society where we're fighting to people to not say shit because we don't want to offend anybody. We have become such a fucking pacified pussy ass society that if someone wants to stand up and be like, dude, this guy is a fucking idiot, everyone would get offended. Everyone would get offended. Like, we can't call stupid people stupid. We can't call dumb people dumb. We can't call fat people fat. We can't call short people short. We can't call blind ass people blind. We can't say shit anymore. And I don't understand, how the hell did we get back to the point where we're going backwards? We're literally going backwards. We started in the direction of freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and yes, when the fucking Constitution was written, it wasn't freedom for everybody. So then we started to, okay, let's bring everyone along in this. Let's, instead of it just being white people or rich people, let's say, hey, how about everyone in the country have the right to these freedoms? How about women have the right to vote? How about black people or minorities have the right to vote or to congregate without being fucking tasered or whatever the case may be? But how about we, put everyone on the same accord to have all these rights? And now we're just saying, okay, fine, everyone have these rights now. Yay, we made it, we did it. Now let's start taking them all the back the fuck away because we don't want to offend anyone. And I just don't understand how now we live in a society to where, yes, if we do hear a video recording of somebody going on a racist fucking rant, like Hulk Hogan, he goes on a racist fucking rant about how he doesn't like niggers and how he know he's racist and we're all a little bit of racist and blah, 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 blah. And again, I don't agree with it. I ripped up my Hulk Hogan poster and cried in my sleep. No, it was bullshit. But, yeah, I thought it was really fucked up. But he has the right to say it, especially in his own fucking house. Everyone looked at what he said. Everyone just immediately jumped to what he said. That's so fucked up. I think his name was Donald Sterling, the owner of the Clippers. Everyone immediately jumped to what he said. Oh my gosh, it is so fucked up. That is so bad. But the one thing that fucking hit me was this guy said this shit in his house. Like he was fucking home. If we can't say shit in our own house anymore in fear of this shit leaking out and us offending anyone or someone, where the fuck can we say shit? Like, how can we, like, where can we do anything? And especially in a society now where everything is fucking recorded. I mean, there are cell phones with video cameras, and you can upload that shit to YouTube in like fucking 15 seconds, and the whole world is now privy to your conversation. But what if you don't want to get that shit out? I think, you know what? The one thing I feel like we need to have a right to, especially in this day and age, is we have a right to privacy. And I think that's one of the things that we don't have a right to anymore. We don't have a right to say something. Now, obviously, I'm saying this shit over YouTube, so I'm trying to be private with it. But if I was to have a conversation with, my daughter, or a conversation with my son, or a conversation with my wife, that shit shouldn't be allowed to be broadcast to everyone. Like, when did we get to the place and point where everybody's lives are public? And I'm not even talking about fucking famous people. I'm talking about everyone. You see people getting recorded all the time. If I want to get into a fight and I want to take a brutal ass whooping, I should be able to take a brutal ass whooping without the whole fucking world seeing it. If I want to, cuss out an old lady because the bitch cut me off, or if I want to, do something, whatever it is, I should be able to do it without it being public news. Without people in fucking Hong Kong looking at it saying, that's fucked up. Again, maybe we should change this whole video. Instead of the right to be wrong, which I feel like we should have the right to privacy. We should have to, like, that's one right that no one is fucking fighting for. We should have the right to be private. We should have and again, I'm not even going to go through the whole fucking government and them tapping everything and them listening to everything and them looking at everything. That's a whole nother issue, but that's a big part of the fucking issue. But we'll say that for another day. Yes, the government should be able to listen to everything and see everything and do everything and know everything about your fucking life, but neither should the fucking public. Like, no one should be able to see your shit and understand what you're like, see what you're doing. Like, one of the videos I did was a 30-second generation. I think I touched on this last week, but one of the videos I did was a 30-second generation, and how people can take 30 seconds of your fucking life and like they extrapolate and think they know you out of the 30 seconds of your life. And again, you could take the worst person 30 seconds. You could take somebody drunk, falling down a flight of stairs, throwing up on himself, get up, smack a girl in the face, and all of a sudden this guy or this girl is the biggest fucking loser ever created because this bitch was drunk and she did something stupid. Which, again, if you fucking put it on everybody, if you record anybody drunk long enough, they're gonna do something fucking stupid. But shouldn't that person falling down the stairs shouldn't that person falling down the fucking stairs have the right to be able to fall down the stairs without that shit being viewed by 100 fucking thousand people in 2 days? Like, I just, maybe we need to start getting back to, I guess, and since we're fucking going backwards any goddamn way, maybe we need to get back to the square root and just the point of people's lives should be private if they want it to be private. People should have the right to be able to walk down the street without being recorded or filmed or anything. That should be their right. And that's one right that apparently you don't have the right to anymore. I mean, we argue the fucking Second Amendment, we argue, the voting, and we argue every fucking thing. The First Amendment, right to freedom of speech, and right to assembly, and all this other shit. We argue this shit true and true. And yeah, there is no right to privacy, I don't think, in the fucking Constitution. I studied it years ago, but I don't recall a right to privacy being in the Constitution. But maybe that's something that we should actually, or maybe it's just understood. Or it was understood back then because they didn't have fucking cell phones and shit, and you weren't intruded on every 15 seconds. But unless you literally want to sit in your house, I mean, people can record you in your fucking car doing something stupid. I've never looked for it, I never Googled it, so I can't say for certain. But I'm pretty sure there are probably 50 million videos of some guy digging in his fucking nose driving down the street. Shouldn't this guy have a right in his own fucking car to pick his nose as much as he wants to without, again, the shit being broadcast over the fucking internet. And majority of the people who view it, he's nasty as shit. Oh my gosh, he just digging for gold. Ha 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 ha. But the biggest thing is, this guy has no fucking privacy. He's in his car. He's minding his business. He's not doing anything except picking his fucking nose. When did we get to the point where everybody can be paparazzi? How the fuck did that now become legal? Or a bigger question, why is it fucking legal? I'm sorry. I went on. Okay, sorry. Have I voted? And will I vote this year? Okay. Oh, that's a whole nother conversation, dude. All right. Well, fuck it. We'll start it. I have voted before. Um, I'll say you something really fucked up. I don't even care. I've actually voted for George Bush before. Why? Because it was funny. And that's the only reason why I did it. I actually bet someone that he would win. I knew shit about politics. And somebody was like, I bet he won't win. I was like, I bet he will. And I made sure to go out and fucking vote for George Bush. And I got free lunch out of it. So everybody say George Bush is a bad president. Fuck you guys. I got a free lunch. So he is all right in my book. Last year I voted just because it was an argument. And I voted. But I voted for me. And I am very upset that the news did not report that I came in a close third. I believe Obama won that election, and the next one was Romney, and it should have had me somewhere in there that says St. Patrick one vote. But you know how the man is, the media is. They try to keep a brother down. They didn't want to publicize my shit, because they're trying to keep me down, and they knew that I would have fucking won if they started publicizing that I was running. But honestly, no, I don't vote. I typically don't vote because I don't see the point in voting, but that's just me. It's like, again, I know I've said this numerous times, but I'll say it again. It's like voting for Dumb or Dumber. A lot of people that I've come in contact with, the reason that they vote is not because they really, really like the person. Oh, motherfucker! I had 2 votes! 2 votes, baby! They should have put that shit on CNN. Come on now, 2 votes. A brother can't get on there. But that's okay, though. I see how it is. Again, it's just a man keeping a brother down. But I honestly don't vote at all because, again, it's just you're voting for Dumb or Dumber. And a lot of people that I've come in contact with, they're not voting for the guy because they really like the guy. They think he's going to do good for the country. They think he's going to be excellent and honest and do everything that they needs to be done. A lot of times, and I'm not going to say all, some of the people that I personally have come in contact with, they vote for the person who will fuck up the least. I think a lot of people, and I'm just speaking from my opinion. I think a lot of people voted for Obama last year because they feel like Romney was just the worst piece of shit ever created. And I've seen it work both ways. When George Bush was in there, millions of people voted for Kerry. A lot of people didn't know what the fuck Kerry stood for. Like, they didn't know any of his politics. They voted for Kerry because they thought anyone but fucking Bush. And that was their plan. And it was really funny, but I don't know if everyone had the chance to see it. But when Obama first ran, when he first ran for president, I think it was Howard Stern, he did a poll. He was polling people coming out of the polls. He was doing like an exit poll, and he was telling them everything. And I think the first thing he ran against the first time was McCain. He was telling them everything that McCain stood for, saying that Obama stood for, and everyone who voted for Obama agreed with everything McCain stood for. They didn't even know why the fuck they were voting. They just seen a brother up there. He spoke, intelligently. He acted like he had some fucking sense, and they just felt like, oh, we got a chance to get a brother in. We're gonna get him in. And I'm not saying that's why all the hundreds of, the 100 million plus white people voted for him. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there are some people who vote just to fucking vote, and I refuse to be one of them. Because honestly, I don't like the way our politics our political system is set up. I don't like how politicians act, or I don't want to vote for a professional politician because their job is to be a fucking politician. And if anyone knows what politicians, it's about fundraising. It's about pretty much bowing down to the people who got you in office. And there was a wonderful, wonderful poll. I was watching some show and I can't remember. If I remember it, I'll actually give you all the name of it. They were showing how everyone who, as far as fundraisers and just senators on, senators voted in favor of or against depending on how their donations were raised. So if the NRA funded you, guess what? You were pro gun. If the Catholic Church or whatever funded you, or another organization funded you, then guess what? You were pro this, you were pro that. If you were funded by the auto company, then guess what? Anything that was good for the auto bills, you're magically for. So it's not you're not even voting for a person that represents your interests. You're just voting for a purpose who will represent the interests of the person who paid him to get in there, or who funded him the most to get in there. So no, I don't see the point in it. Like, what the fuck is the point? And everyone keeps telling me, voting will change shit. It won't. And it's just my opinion. You can feel how you want to feel. Voting won't change shit. Everyone knew for a fact that when Obama got in, it was time for change. We were going to move forward. We were going to change it now. And honestly, what the fuck has changed? And this is just my opinion. What the fuck has changed? Now, certain people, some people say, well, he did this and he did this and he did this and he did this. And okay, fine. But as far as my life, as far as how I live and my everyday life, my insurance got fucking worse. I'm not making any more fucking money. I'm actually making less money now because my insurance has gotten worse because I'm paying more for shittier insurance. So, like, in my life, nothing has fucking changed. It would have been better if he just did fucking nothing like the other presidents that came before him. I would have been, I'd actually be better off. So, again, it's honestly, I really, really, really hate the political system. I just do, because it's so fucking bad. It is so bad. Um, and even if Obama got in there and Obama wanted to do everything he wanted to do, he still has to go through the fucking Senate and House of Representatives, and they don't want to do shit. So you can vote for change. Yes, you can. You can absolutely vote for change, but change won't fucking happen because all the old heads who've been there for fucking 2 centuries, they don't want change. They want shit to stay the same. And that change that you voted for has to go through the fucking rocks and shit that are still in the fucking Senate that will never apparently get out unless they kill somebody or unless they send a picture of their dick to someone, because we can't have that shit in the government. So, like, what are we voting for? And this is just my opinion. The next president that comes along, what are we voting for? Like, what are you voting for? Like, you'll vote to, okay, we're going to vote to keep Donald Trump out. That's a good reason to vote. Fine. It may be a perfect reason for you. But again, you're back to proving my point. You don't want Donald Trump in. You're going to vote for the other guy. You may not like the other guy, but you don't want fucking Donald Trump. And whatever you have to do to keep Donald Trump out, that's who you're voting for. Now, I know there are a ton of people who love Bernie. I think his name is Bernie Sanders. Okay, good. All right. So there are a ton of people who love fucking Bernie. And Bernie may get in there and he may be in the exact same fucking situation that Obama's in. He get in there, he has to deal with an asshole Senate, he has to deal with an asshole House of Representatives, and he gets nothing done. Then what? I think honestly, the problem that I have with politicians and the problem I have with the whole political system, is that it all comes down to honestly excuses. And I'm just sick of the fucking excuses. We can never get shit done because this party does this, or this party does this, or this guy didn't want to vote on this, or this guy kept blocking it, or this guy, he said he was going to do this and he didn't do this, or we proposed a bill and it never got through the House. So it's always bullshit. It's like, just do your fucking job. They spend 50% of the time fundraising to make sure they get reelected, and then 50% of the time making excuses of why they can't do shit. What the fuck are we paying you for? Like, why are you there? Like, what are you accomplishing? If anybody in the free market had a track record of our fucking Congress, as far as production, as far as showing up to work, because they're out every fucking 2 weeks for some break. Like, literally, they're there half the year, and when they're there, they don't do shit. But they get paid like $175,000 a fucking year for the senators. Could you imagine any other job in the fucking world that allows people to literally show up, do nothing, than take a vacation from doing nothing and get paid. I mean, get paid very well. And then anytime something goes wrong, it's never their fault. It's the other guy's fault. We could do it if it wasn't for the Democrats. We could do it if it wasn't for the Republicans. We can do this if it wasn't for them. We can do this if it was. Who gives a fuck? Just do something. You are getting paid. You are literally raking it in. Do fucking something. I'm sorry. You get paid. You have your own personal fucking security. So, like, literally, you're walking around with a mini army everywhere you fucking go. And that's not even including the public speeches you give and all this other shit you give. Like seriously? Any fucking books you write. But they do not, like, seriously, they do nothing. And it's not even just me saying this. A lot of people who forgive Obama for not doing everything he wanted to do is because the fucking Congress would let him do it. So now we have a president who can't do anything because the Congress in there doesn't want to do anything. So now we literally paid all this money to all these people to do absolutely fucking nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. Now, yeah, we could argue the whole healthcare debate, and matter of fact, that could be my topic for next week. I'll go ahead and wrap this up because we're almost at an hour. That could be my topic for next week. The illusion of doing something while actually doing absolutely fucking nothing. Absolutely nothing. And this government is so wonderful at doing that. They give you the illusion like they care and that they're really going to do something when in all actuality they aren't doing a goddamn thing. And they do that every time with education, with fucking guns, with the whole healthcare thing, which I would love to argue with people about. They're just famous for it. They do nothing. But it really looks good. It really looks good to the people who voted for them. Because look, they're doing something. Look, they're trying to do this or they're trying to do that, and you know, believe me when I tell you, and I will break it down for you next week. Yeah, nothing at all. Absolutely fucking nothing. And Brian, I agree with you. Voting is completely meaningless because you're just voting for either one asshole to go in there to do, help his people who paid his way to get in there, or you're going to help vote another asshole who's just going to help all the people who paid to get his ass in there. And I'll leave you with one last fact. For everyone who voted for change, and I'm not talking about to the other guy who voted for me, because that would have been real fucking change if I would have got in there. That would have been the funniest shit in the world. But to everyone who voted for change, the rich are still getting richer. The poor are still getting poorer. The middle class is still wherever the fuck it is right now. And nothing has changed. Like, as a society, yes, we wanted to lower the income gap. It's getting wider. With our Democratic president, nothing can change. Like, literally, everything people thought would be different is not. And I'm not saying it's Obama's fault. I am just saying, as an entire entity, the government has completely failed. And we can say for the last 8 years, or however long as Obama's been in, 7 years, whatever it is, we can say for the last fucking 15 years since Bush came into office. Some people may go even further back to Clinton. Whatever. It's nothing's changed. The rich get richer, the poor gets poorer. Now, if it doesn't matter who you vote for, like literally, it doesn't matter what side of the party you stand on, or who the fuck you vote for. If that is one constant, regardless of who the fuck is in power, whether it's a Democratic Congress, whether it's a Republican Congress, whether it's a Democratic president, whether it's a Republican president, if that is the one constant, what are you doing? What are you voting for? What would be your point? And to answer that question, I'm sorry I went on a fucking tangent on it, I do apologize. But to answer that one point, no, I don't vote, because what's the point? And Jake, I agree with you. And Brian, I agree with you. That's my stance on it. All right, man, we're at an hour. Thank you so much for listening. Sorry I was a little late today, but thank you so much for listening. This is St. Patrick. I will see you later.